Gunther and CM Punk, man, Gunther coming in as this big, imposing champion. You heard Cole on commentary. He's been a champion more than 80% of his days on the roster, which is just absolutely insane. A complete different level of dominance from Gunther. He looked dominant throughout the match, too. Punk was just able to find his places and then capitalize when he really needed to capitalize. But let's break it down here as CM Punk briefly becomes your new WWE World Champion. And the match itself, if it would have just ended, if the PLE ends there, I'm happy. It was a great match. Punk's your champion. We've got intrigue. It would have went down on its face, an instant classic, kind of like the way John Cena and Daniel Bryan did that we reviewed as part of our SummerSlam Rewind series.
Dude, this was everything you want as a wrestling fan. This is just 30 minutes, didn't have to go 400 miles an hour. This was a classic wrestling match, and it showed a lot to me. It showed me that Punk can still go with the best of them. And it showed me just moves being pulled out. There was, Gunther's bleeding. How much did that add to the moment? Just everything about it, man. Like, this was a classic, like you said, but it was a layered story, and it worked with submissions like the Boston. When was the last time you saw the Boston Crab used, or a triangle submission? So many different things that, if you're a wrestling purist, a fan, you love this.
Yeah, it was a throwback in a lot of ways, this match on its face. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. Again, if it ends right there and that's the end of the PLE, then I'm like, great. It was good. You got the moment there with Punk in the top right hand of the screen, holding the belt, clutching it looked like he just was welling up with tears, just completely overwhelmed, which only made the actual end of the PLE that much better. And this, I think, is I don't want to just skip over Gunther and Punk like it wasn't just a great classic SummerSlam match that I think we're going to be revisiting for years to come, but it does kind of live in the shadows as to what happened next. I think, Matty, this is a topic that I want to talk about a little bit more in depth with Seth Rollins here and how this all comes together. And can we do this again? Can we expect this from WWE? Was it good? Was it bad? The moment itself, there's no doubt about it. That was fantastic. Everybody was in on it. It rivals, I would argue, his WrestleMania 31 cash in from an excitement and surprise perspective. The question I want to start with first, though, Matty, with with Seth's injury being a work, should WWE utilize work injuries the way that they did? Because you and I talked about it immediately, because I was at Saturday Night Main Event and I'm like, oh man, Seth, legit looks like it hurt his knee. The way they ended the match, Seth goes out in crutches. He's seen in public in crutches. He's on Rich Eisen in crutches and, selling it this whole time. Can WWE keep trust with fans when things like that happen?
I think this is all entertainment. And that's what I take it as.
Okay.
If they got one over on me, it's not the end all be all. To me, it just added to the drama, and I'm all for it. I mean, we've seen, people fake injuries in the past, and it worked. We've seen Shawn Michaels fake a knee injury and pin, I think it was Batista or Chris Jericho at like a No Way Out or something. So it's been done before, not at this length. To me, it doesn't bother me one bit. Like, I love just the aspect of storyline and drama. To me, it's a soap opera, man. So just sit back and enjoy that aspect of it.
Okay. I can see that. I can appreciate that. I do think with the level that Seth went to with everything, which apparently his daughter almost blew his cover the first day.
Right.
The first day at preschool. But I do think this is a little bit more of a use it as a one-off, because if you start kind of letting that snowball, right, and it's used repetitively, kind of like the spear barricade spot, right? That, I think, is something in WWE that's lost all of its impact. I don't care about that move anymore. I don't care to see it.
Yeah.
So in the same breath, right, you can't have somebody, faking a serious injury, a match being stopped short, And additionally, there is just the conversation of like, once folks are gone, sometimes we don't always know the reason why and what's behind it and what they're going through and their recovery process. And fans do react to that sort of thing. It happened on a different scale, but it happened with Raquel Rodriguez, and nobody really understood like the skin condition and everything that she was going through, and this and that. And she's doing everything she can to be back, not to her own fault. You know what I mean? And she's probably just trying to like live life a day at a time. So that's the only thing I'll say about it. But the moment itself, dude, I don't think you could have scripted it any better in terms of Seth coming out, still hobbling, walking away, tossing the crutches. Of course, as soon as he tosses the crutches, the gig is or the jig is up, and then it's just all systems go from there.
Dude, and it just keeps showing us why we keep going back to how Rollins is on another level. Even Triple H said other people are playing checkers, he's playing chess. This guy is just he is, to me, he's the Shawn Michaels in the ring, but his promos, everything, he's the total package. And that's what kind of just, separates the guy. Like, you don't need to see him wrestle. He's so good at telling stories that we're in the era of Rollins right now, and I'm loving it. And real quick to your injury, like, I definitely see that. I see the point of, we already hear people, is it real? Is it fake? Like, so I get that argument.
Right. A little bit of that, yeah.
You don't want people going up to Roman Williams, hey, I heard you fake cancer because you're wrestling.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Or Owen Hart died. That's fake, right? Like, shits could get real. But to your point, like, if done properly, it's magical. Like SummerSlam Night 1, the end of SummerSlam Night 1 was the ultimate climax of not only Rollins, of the story with him and Punk, with Gunther, just everything just gelled perfectly. And I don't think it would have had that effect if he wouldn't have faked that injury. So to me, just kudos to WWE for just the shock value and the surprises we've had in the last couple of years. Iconic on another level.
This is my favorite outcome outside of him cashing it in on Cena during his last match. That would have been my top vote. I mentioned that way long ago from the time that he basically won it. And this, I think, played out as beautifully as you could have hoped for, with the crutches from the time that he runs down to the ring, takes the brace off, runs down to the ring. Paul is kind of in chase a little bit, trying to keep up with Seth down the ramp, which just cracked me up even more. But I liked the brutality, too, that Seth took once he got in the ring. He just started going to town, with the briefcase on Punk.
Elbows,
like he was elbows, the full thing. Like he was full on going to take advantage. They weren't going to, let Punk get ready. By the time Jessica Carr rang the bell, Punk, I think, was just at his knees, right? And then Seth hits the stomp, and it's 1, 2, 3, game over. And then Maddie, to end it as well, you get Seth to take a seat down in the classic CM Punk pose right next to Punk after he was only, at the mountaintop for like 5 minutes. You get it on socials after of Seth bringing back the classic belt swing at the top of the ramp. Man, a billion out of 10. I don't know. It was fantastic.
Well, as a photographer, dude, how many iconic shots were there?
So many.
From like
so many.
When Rollins wins the title, like you said, he's sitting down, he's doing the belt swing, everybody's hands are raised. Just this is the total package in professional wrestling. And we just witnessed, I think this just told us so much about just Gunther, about Punk, about Rollins. Like, everybody won from that main event.
Yeah, let's touch just real quickly, and then we will end and wrap up night 1 before taking a break and moving on to night 2. But Maddie, it was said, and I think there was a little bit of information going on about this before the match, that maybe Gunther was working a little bit hurt with his nose or something to that effect. So you never really quite know, but you get the spot like you were talking about earlier where he's bleeding a lot. And then Michael Cole confirms on Monday Night Raw that Gunther is going to be out indefinitely. So that leaves a big hole at the top of the card there with Gunther being gone. It leaves a place for somebody to step up. Do you have maybe a prediction of somebody who can maybe fill that role? And then do you think Gunther just slots right back in when he comes back?
Dude, I think this is the perfect time for Gunther to go away, because he had kind of He's so dominant, but he's kind of
Mm.
lost that mystique of being this unbeatable war general. Like this is that's his gimmick, is just how long he's been champion, everything about it. So to me, I think this is perfect for Gunther to go away a little bit. It's almost like Brock Lesnar coming back. There's, Cena later on down the road. There's a lot of opportunity if you just kind of freshen up Gunther a little bit. And to me, I think it's perfect timing. There's a lot of moving pieces. Let him kind of take some time off our TV screens, and you can bring him back the way he is, or he could come back and just start snapping on people. He's always been composed. And I mean, dude, we might be seeing a babyface Gunther by next year's WrestleMania. You never know.
Babyface Gunther would be wild. I don't even know what that would look like quite yet, but I can tell you when he comes back, he's most certainly going to get a reaction because I think they're going to put him in a position where he comes back and it's going to be against some sort of top level player. So whether that is Seth Rollins, whether that is CM Punk, whether it is Roman Reigns, I think it's going to be interesting no matter what when Gunther comes back to WWE. So couldn't agree more that maybe a little bit of a break here for Gunther is actually going to end up boosting his stock when he comes back and creating a little bit more of that mystique and that dominance there